I really wanted to see a lot of collaboration today, and having an opportunity to have an open discussion with some industry leaders, certainly ones that were looking from innovation from a point of view of how that could benefit their business and benefit their customers' business was really key. And particularly with the format that we had today, to have those open discussions, people engaging, people following on from other people's points, I thought was a fabulous testament to the people in the room.
To sit there with other people who are clearly thinking about innovation, and to me that was the key. Everybody was already on the same page anyway, so we could have a really good constructive sort of conversation about how we deliver innovation into the sector.
I think the key theme has definitely got to be integration and collaboration. Having spoken to everybody around the table, it was weird how all of the same themes from so many different angles just kept rearing up again and again. And just being open with each other and being able to converse and to share information is only going to make things stronger.
It's been a really good opportunity to sit and meet and talk to like-minded people who are forward-thinking, creative, at the cutting edge of their particular aspect in the industry, and it's been good to hear and contribute to that round the table discussion. Lots happening in the industry, and to hear that firsthand has been quite insightful.
It was really quite inspiring actually, to see so many different sort of parts of the supply chain coming together to discuss how we can evolve the industry. Innovation for my business has always been a key part of how we sort of stay ahead of the competition, and it's really encouraging to see that there are businesses out there really looking to think about the next sort of 5 years and on of what the industry is going to look like.
Firstly, there clearly isn't a good appetite for innovation from all the people that were in the room. Businesses that think in a certain way, that have got their eyes on the future, they're all willing to embrace innovation. That was a big thing for me. The other thing actually was the common theme seemed to be openness and sharing, and how big data drives innovation. And actually, when we think about it, oftentimes when we think of innovation, we think about a product doing something differently, or a product being completely revolutionary, which is, that is a big part of innovation, but actually something that we can do more of in our industry is just be more open, collaborate more, work together to develop the propositions of the future.
I think what we have to do is we have to look at where the market needs are. What are the demands? Big data is something that was discussed. How can we use this to benefit those people who are actually using the various products that we have around the table today, and how can we see that gives true value to them as they move forward with the products that they take from all of us.
Very comforting and reassuring to know that the things I'm hoping are happening and the conversations that you hope are going on, do seem to be going on in the right places. And I think that, obviously having the Kubu and the VBH guys here with Everglade as a fabricator, and understanding how that sort of trio can tie together, and the first degree with the software, and obviously Business Pilot with software as well, and installers, how we can all kind of sort of share the similar sort of mindset, and it was nice to see.
I think the one thing that can get in the way of innovation for the sector is a lack of collaboration. That is the one thing that could put the brakes on it. So will the industry suffer if we don't collaborate? 100%.
I think there's been some really interesting examples today of people who wouldn't normally be working together, and yet they are, and you hear their experience, and I think it does incentivise and create a desire to work with others. People in the room, different businesses that we come across, people that are in the next position in the chain, through from inquiry to order to manufacture out to distribution into the customer. We work very closely with these companies. Why not work even closer? there are some fine things there that can be delivered to customers. They'd really benefit from it.
Is if I've got a customer and I open up my system to other people to connect, then I might lose that customer. Innovation has to start from our intention. And when your intention is always about your customer, then you'll open up. When your intention is all about keeping market share or keeping on to profits that you somehow feel you deserve, that's when you're not going to open up. So to me, one has to be driven from the other. It has to be coming straight out of, I want to help my customer.
I think what we have to do is we have to look at where the market needs are. What are the demands? Big data is something that was discussed. How can we use this to benefit those people who are actually using the various products that we have around the table today, and how can we see that gives true value to them as they move forward with the products that they take from all of us.
I've always looked at it that when you are looking to create a product, you always look to benchmark. And even going back to our discussion today about even sharing ideas around the table, that's something you can do for a benchmarking exercise. And when we looked at R&D and when we looked at where we could go with smart technology going forward, the name that kept coming up from our perspective was Kubu, and certainly where they were going with their products in the marketplace. For my perspective, we've had great collaboration now since we've been working together for the last couple of years. We're not just thinking about our situation tomorrow, we're thinking about 4 or 5 years down the line, integration of products that we've got alongside the products that they've got, but also giving a clear and concise guarantee and support scheme to fabricators, installers, and importantly the end user. And particularly with that last point, being able to have that collaboration, to have that offering, be able to draw back through the entire supply chain to ensure that our fabricators are well supported and protected going forward with the products that they have.
Integration's a key theme for Kubu, whether that be with other smart home devices, but more specifically in our industry, with fabricators, installers and other hardware manufacturers. Obviously Kubu was developed as part of the Avantis group, but we made the strategic decision to share our technology with other hardware providers so that we can expand the market and provide first-class services to anybody that wants to collaborate with us. Primary example, VBH, who are here today. They've taken on our technology and our sensor technology and integrated it with their locks.
I think it's in many ways, so if I take a really simple approach to how we are open and we collaborate. So bear in mind there's two sides. There's how we do it in the relationships we have, but there's also how we actually do it in terms of the software. So if I look just at the software, then we're talking about things like APIs that we talk about, the way two pieces of software speak to each other. If I use an example of that, I could use, let's say, zero accounting, where you don't have to start exporting things, importing things. I could use the Fencer API as an example, where it's just a press of a button. So collaboration works on two levels: the relationships that we hold in the industry, but also the technical elements, so the system collaborations as well.
Yeah, 100%. I think for me, having that connectivity with the supply chain manufacturers especially has been something I've been trying to create more communication with for some time, and seeing people coming together today who actually want to connect the dots with the installer network more, for me is a really key part of how we create our sort of future strategies as a business, and allows us to see where the industry's going, where it's evolving, and ultimately to date has been a big part of how my glazing company has got to where it's got to.
We talked about innovation, how it can genuinely help businesses. It's a cool thing to do. We talk about digital improvements, and we've talked a lot about big data. Turning those things into tangible benefits that genuinely help a business is another matter. So yes, around the table there's been some good things talked about, which in the field of assisting people with machinery choices, and not just making good machinery choices, big piece of investment. We'll be in a business for 20 years or more, but getting the best out of those by collaborating with software companies.
I think there is a risk that we innovate for innovation's sake. However, I think what we have to do is we have to go through that cycle to find what will be adopted, what will be useful, and then how the market will sort of reach into that and use it. You know, we are all at risk of producing something because we think there's a need there. Let's have a look how that's adopted, and let's not be afraid to let go of things that aren't being used for the benefit of producing things that will be.
We're all saying the same thing, which is actually we need openness to integrate systems if we're going to do the next level of innovation. So, you know, I was saying about how innovation should be invisible until it's missing. That's what these integrations do. If we can just create technology, whether it's through hardware or software, obviously, you know, we're talking digital technology, digital innovation, but whether it's hardware or software, if we can make it so it's invisible, that to me is true innovation.
Yeah, it definitely gives you confidence as an installer to know that the industry is collaborative. I think, as it was mentioned probably around the table, it is maybe a smaller cross section, you know, a smaller demographic, and the people here are minded to be here, and maybe we need to see more of that creeping into the rest of the industry. But we touched on it again today, but nothing changes overnight, and 20 years ago you wouldn't really have hoped to get these people in a room together today, and I think, you know, as time moves forward there would be more people minded to be in that room, and I'm sure there would be a lot of other, you know, interests and a lot of other people that would be happy to have those conversations if we could potentially, you know, get the diaries aligned. But overall I think it's small steps, but you know, everything's moving in the right direction, and has been for, you know, I think for a number of years in terms of everyone sort of getting around the table to sort of just improve and better knit the product options together as well.
I think it would be a shame if today was a one-off event. You know, I think every few months it's worth getting around the table with the same sort of people and talking about this sort of thing, because, you know, we all have day-to-day work to do, and, you know, it's not likely that someone's going to come to one event and suddenly go and change the world. But if we continue to do this sort of thing, I believe it will drive more collaboration, more working together, more openness, and all of these things will ultimately lead to improvements in the industry and good things for us as an industry as well as our consumers.
It's really important that we talk through the ideas from people who represent other parts of the industry. It's been a breath of fresh air in many ways to get their point of view and their perspective in relation to what they're doing, how they're doing it, their needs, their demands. We can be quite insular, we can be very much behind closed doors in relation to what we develop and what we produce, but really and truly we need to listen to other people in other areas of the industry about the challenges that they face and what we can do to meet those challenges.
I think, you know, we've given a good example today in terms of VBH. We're able to draw on our own experience collaborating with Kubu, and how that's benefited not just Kubu's business but also VBH's business, but even talking around the table from Business Pilot's perspective to the installer's perspective to Everglades' perspective, to find that there's actually common themes that we all share. And if we had a bit more open dialogue between us, including the people that are in here today, how beneficial that would be to the industry.
I think it's crucial that we regularly hold these events. I don't think innovation is something that we can set now for the next 20 years. This is something that should be an ongoing conversation. It's like anything else. Without that conversation, innovation will just dry up. So we need to make sure that we're continually having the conversation, we're continually putting innovation at the top of the list, and that's how we will drive it forward for the benefit of everybody in the sector.